This is going to be my bed design video. So I'm using one type of wood. It is planed all around, 15 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters, and that's it. So it's this stuff here. Step one was getting it cut into half as well. Now on these side pieces, I'm going to be using the bits that have been cut in half, putting them on the inside, gluing them down, and these are going to support the slats. I'm also going to use two of these half pieces, glue them together, and that's going to make the main section down the middle that supports them. Alright, so whilst making the side beams, definitely put too much glue on, so scrape some off and put it onto the middle beam so I can quickly move onto that and get that done at the same time. Left side, right side, and middle's done. All I did was put 4 small holes in a countersink because I was just putting these small screws in with a countersink. They just come out a tiny bit there. That's so that they don't poke out the other side because I didn't want it to be seen or catch myself on them. But these screws are just to hold it together whilst the glue sets because I don't have like tons and tons of clamps. So the next bit I'm going to do is cut in the slats for the middle. Alright, so for this next section we're in my little workshop, aka my basement. Cutting the slats, they're 150 wide because it's a king size. I've already measured them up, so yeah, we're just going to go ahead and a drop saw. Okay, so they're all chopped now. Obviously I was wearing a mask. I know this is not the right mask, but I couldn't find mine. I always wear glasses. I've kept the offcuts and we're going to file the edges of the slats, sand the edges of the slats and the offcuts now, and I'll show you why in a second. Alright, so they're all sanded. Obviously it's a time lapse. I did rough sand the edges. Like, I haven't got a lot of time to do this. Like, if you were doing it, I'd probably take more time and make it look a bit nicer, but you know, I'm just gonna crack on and just bodge through it. Next part is gonna be tie my hair up because it's really fucking annoying. But the offcuts that we had earlier, these pieces, which are 50 centimeters because they were 2 meter lengths and we just cut 150 centimeters off. So yeah, these are 50 centimeters each. These are gonna go towards being the base of the legs. Now all I'm gonna do is glue and screw them together, and you will find out why later in the video. Okay, so obviously that wasn't me making legs. That was a very nice time lapse of my van outside because I forgot to switch the camera around. But anyway, we ended up with these nice legs with a screw there, and I've just kind of glued them together. Like you see some of the glue seeping out. So that's 4 legs in total, but I nearly forgot that I do need to make a middle leg now, so I'll do that as well. Right, because of the way I've designed this, I've got to cut every single piece of wood before I can start assembling anything. So we've got the headboard, we've got the ends of the base to cut, and we've got the finishing bits of the legs to cut. So I guess that means a time-lapse cutting montage. Woo! Again, we're saving like the offcuts because these are going to do something. So I need to just tidy these edges up with a sander, which means another montage, and we'll get to the next section. I am a hot, sweaty mess. Not sure where I'm up to, but we are going to be assembling the base now. We're going to do the base, assemble the legs, put the slats on, and then attach the headboard, and it's pretty much done. It should go together quite quickly and easily, so we'll do some filming and time-lapsing. And go! That's the frame done. It's as square as it's gonna be. It should be pretty all right, but I've only got this tiny frame jig thing. So next is this middle beam here, and what I'm gonna do is, got a couple of these joist brackets, so we're just gonna mount these somewhere like that, and then put that inside it, and it should be perfect. Middle bit's in, that's nice and secure. Time to make the legs. Now earlier, oh my God, I'm such a mess. Now earlier I was saying it doesn't really matter about how well finished these are and that there's screws on the outside. And that's because that will be the inside piece, and then these two will be on the outside, and they will just go straight onto the corner, and we will attach them from the inside, so there will be no screws showing on the outside. Clever, eh? Front leg's done. I was hoping to make it completely screwless, but I forgot when I was designing it that I was going to glue the legs up and leave them clamped overnight, but I'm in kind of a rush because I need to get it ready. So yeah, you can do it by gluing it, and then it will be completely screwless from the outside, but we're gonna carry on like this. Next is the rear legs. Now the rear legs are slightly taller because they're gonna connect to the headboard, but I'll do another quick montage and you'll see what I'm talking about. Front legs are done, back legs are done. The great thing about these is that they will actually support the base before I screw them in, so I can prop the whole frame up and then just go round, screwing all the legs in. Legs are attached, I feel minging. It is 6:15, and I've got to be going out at 7:15, so I've got to do loads of things really fast. Next is going to be the headboard, is like down there. That's going to get attached now. Headboard's on. Oh, pretty much finished. Once everything's cut and sized, the great thing about this design I've made is that it just goes together pretty quickly. So there's two last things to do, and that is there's a middle support leg for this, and then we just put the slats on top. I hadn't planned how to attach this, so now I've got to come up with a way of sticking it on. I'm not going to drill straight down because that's just going to weaken that, but I think I might just make a gusset plate for this side and that side. And here she is, isn't she pretty? No, obviously not, but does the job. Solid. Okay, so just put the slats on. I was a big sweaty mess, so I have changed my clothes. I'm just gonna measure the spacing and drill them down, and then we'll do like a quick of them drilling together. And there we go, it's finished. Everything is screwed in. When you're looking at the design of the bed, you're probably asking, why is it so high? And that is because I like to use these boxes for storage. I just find it a lot easier to maintain, so I've made it so I can fit 3 underneath. That's why it's so high. Obviously, you could make it lower if you want. Here's the finished product. Now, it's been a couple of weeks since I first built it and I have removed the beard. So here's a quick summary of what's gone on. So in the first half of the video, I actually made the legs 50 high because I wanted to get 3 boxes in. But after a couple of weeks, I found that I couldn't even put my socks on properly, so I decided to lower it. This new design does allow me to get 2 extra boxes, so I get 5 along, 2 up. Now they slide in and out quite easily. So when I was doing the backboard, I actually measured these up wrong, and that's why there's a bit of a gap here. But when it happened, I kind of liked it, so I decided not to correct it. And I liked it that much that whilst I had the legs off, I decided to chop these down a little bit to match the look of the backboard. Whilst I'd taken the legs off and everything was in pieces, I decided to do some proper finishing on the edges. I'd only rushed it last time, but I decided to make it look nice and neat, round the edges off, just to give it a little nicer feel. So a few of the things I learned during this project. Number 1 is take your time. Because I was rushing, I did make a couple of small mistakes. I was mainly rushing because I was trying to do the video at the same time. But that was also kind of good because it really pushed me to get it done. But I didn't finish things properly, which I should have done. Some of the legs I could have glued properly and left overnight. Number 2 was halfway through the project, I invested in a little shop vac. Because I was doing most of the chopping in a confined space, the dust was building up. But having that thing attached to various different machines was brilliant. And it only cost about 45 quid. So that leads me on to number 3, which is tools. I don't go cheap on the tools, but I don't spend extra either because this is just a hobby. The table saw I've got is from McAllister and I've never had a problem with their products. And when I've got the clamp on the side doing a straight line, it's perfect. But when I've got the little jig that pushes things through, it just doesn't cut straight. Now, if I had a drop saw that moved across, that would have been perfect for this job and it would have cancelled out those mistakes. But I only have my tiny little drop saw that wasn't big enough. But for future projects, I will be looking at investing in slightly better equipment. The reason I decided to make this video is when I was coming up with the initial design, I did what everyone does, and that's go straight to YouTube. And there's tons of videos out there that'll give you step-by-step tips or even just inspire you. So hopefully my video or design helps or inspires someone else out there. If it does, feel free to leave a message in the comments below. You don't have to, but I'd get a real buzz out of it if you did. Or you could leave me some tips on how to improve, things I did wrong, things I did well, or, you know, if you just want to comment on my Space Cats duvet, then yeah, do that. I'm thinking of doing more videos in the future, so yeah, just pay attention if you want to. I don't really care. I had fun doing this. Bye!